tight, justice at last. A historic honour for World War II hero Teddy Sheehan, 8 decades on. A serious highway pile-up leaves 2 people injured. Australia's deadliest day, another grim milestone for the nation. Tasmania bolsters its COVID-19 testing capabilities. World leaders donate money to help Beirut rebuild. And a turn for the worse, fierce storms unleash on New South Wales.
Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Well, first tonight, the battle to bestow Edward Teddy Sheehan with the Victoria Cross is nearly won. The Tasmanian ordinary seaman who sacrificed his life to save his mates in World War II is set to receive our highest honour after an expert panel secured crucial evidence.
Strapped to his sinking ship, Teddy Sheehan fought to the end. So too did his most enduring supporters.
Hopefully this is it. We've got him recognised for what he deserves to get.
With scant regard for self, Teddy defied orders to abandon ship. Struck twice by enemy bullets, the wounded 18-year-old returned fire, shooting down a Japanese aircraft and shielding his shipmates until the HMAS Armidale had sunk. Teddy still at his post. That bravery now deemed worthy of the Victoria Cross after new evidence supporting Teddy's story was found in Japanese military records.
Let Teddy Sheehan inspire us to be a people that are selfless, caring and brave.
To Teddy's fiercest advocates, today's breakthrough rights a long-standing wrong, overruling past inquiries which found Teddy's actions either didn't warrant a Victoria Cross or that his story was merely a myth. The ship's sole living survivor, Ray Leonard, is overwhelmed by the outcome.
And he was still firing his gun as the ship went down.
He knew it was Teddy. He got to the lifeboats and he knew right then and there when his mate said in the lifeboats, "Did you see what Teddy did? Did you see what Teddy did?" Ray Leonard knew that Teddy gave his life for his mates.
With the Prime Minister's blessing, the final checkbox now rests with the Queen. Her approval will ascend Teddy, the lowest ranked sailor on that ship, to the rarest of company.
Out of our 100 Victoria Cross recipients, not one from the Navy. Today is your day. Have a beer on us tonight, all members of the Royal Australian Navy. This one's for you.
And they led by example. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
2 women are recovering in hospital following a 2-car collision near Fawcett, which closed a busy stretch of highway for several hours. Police say investigations suggest weather conditions played a role, using the incident to remind motorists to take care on icy roads.
A horror sight for first responders. One car a crumpled wreck, the other badly damaged after 2 vehicles collided on the Arthur Highway at Fawcett just before 8 a.m.
A green Honda CR-V driven by a 53-year-old woman from Primrose Sands collided with a black Nissan Dualis that was travelling in the opposite direction. That was driven by a 27-year-old woman from Gilston Bay.
Emergency crews rushing to the scene near Inala Road, working to free one of the drivers from their car. 2 women rushed to hospital for treatment.
They're currently at the Royal Hobart Hospital in a stable condition and injuries at this stage don't appear to be life-threatening.
Traffic along the Arthur Highway was closed for a number of hours as police spent the morning trying to piece together what caused the crash. Authorities say early investigations suggest weather conditions could have been a contributing factor. Temperatures this morning dropping to nearly 0 in the region.
It was very cold, icing conditions on not only the Arthur Highway but there's icing conditions throughout Tasmania on Tasmanian roads.
Police now urging drivers across the state to be wary when travelling during the coldest periods of the day.
And it's a timely reminder, you know, wherever you're driving throughout Tasmania, throughout these cold conditions, to be safe and take your time on Tasmanian roads.
Anyone who saw the incident or has dashcam vision is asked to contact police. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
After recording their lowest daily increase in COVID cases in nearly a fortnight, Victorians are hoping their harsh lockdown is working to contain the spread. But the state has also suffered 19 more deaths, just as new cases drop to 322. Now, survivors are part of a new strategy to scare people into complying with stay-at-home orders.
While the aim of advertising is to raise awareness,
it feels like coronavirus has attacked every single one of my body systems.
After all they've been through, it is hard to believe Victorians are not aware.
If you're thinking about bending the rules, think about who you love most in this world.
I was in the ICU for 32 days.
Numbers in ICU shift every day. Yesterday it was 43 with 26 on ventilators. Overnight a record 19 people died, the majority in ICU, where 23 have now taken their place. Kelvin Nguyen died in his home near Geelong, having contracted COVID on a chicken farm. He was 51.
This news is devastating no matter what age.
It affects healthcare workers more than most. They represent 1 in 7 of Victoria's 8,000 active cases. There are not only fears of a shortage of health professionals, but of equipment to protect them.
We have significant concerns about the protection available to our members in the workplace.
I would fundamentally dispute the fact that 1 in 5 doctors and nurses do not have access to personal protective equipment.
Victoria's Premier agrees.
68 million gloves, 19 million surgical masks, 2 million face shields.
322 new cases overnight represents another encouraging decline, and as much as the priority for Victoria's leaders is eradicating it altogether, right now they continue to dodge questions on who is to blame. Having conceded online that terrible mistakes have been made, Health Minister Jenny Mikakos would not talk about what they were or who made them.
The fight against the virus. I think that's absolutely where the focus needs to be right now.
Robert Ovadia, 7 News.
A Tasmanian man has faced court after driving off at a police checkpoint on the Victorian and South Australian border. The 45-year-old initially flew to Adelaide on Sunday but was turned back to Melbourne after failing to fill out forms. It's alleged he then drove to the border later that day and passed through a checkpoint despite being refused entry by officers. He was charged with failing to comply with COVID-19 directions. Tasmania now has more muscle to test for COVID-19 thanks to a suite of new machines at the Royal Hobart Hospital. More than 1,000 tests can now be processed each day, preparing the state for any potential outbreak.
Meet the legends of the lab. If coronavirus tries to return to Tassie, these are the people who will find it.
So the process actually starts when the specimens arrive in big eskies. Most of ours come from the COVID clinics.
Everyday tests for the deadly virus pass through these machines. Up to 600 can be processed. Now, thanks to a major new upgrade, they can do more, a lot more.
What this additional space and additional equipment will do will allow us to be able to test up to 1,000 people per day on a sustainable basis.
And if push really comes to shove...
So we think we can get up to about 1,800 to 2,000 tests a day.
Putting the state in prime position to handle another outbreak, like the one seen at the North West Regional Hospital. It could also help processing for Victoria, still swamped by a second wave.
And this expanded capacity here means that we potentially have further capacity to assist them if that helps Victoria.
All up, more than 74,000 COVID tests have passed through the hands of Tasmanian scientists. Meanwhile, Australian Bureau of Statistics figures released today put Tasmania above the rest in 3 key areas. In May, 75% of us stayed at home, 98% kept their distance from others, and 100% said they changed their behaviours. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
There's a push to make childcare cheaper, so women will be encouraged to do more paid work and boost our COVID-hit economy. It's claimed that if the federal government spent an extra $5 billion a year on subsidies, there would be an $11 billion payoff.
When fitness entrepreneur Lizzie Bland became a mother last year, she traded some time running her business for running around after her new baby.
The thought of being able to go full-time is kind of a bit of a dream. Financially, it's just too expensive.
Now the Grattan Institute says if the government pumped billions more into childcare, the flow and economic effect would be significant. It recommends the childcare subsidy for low-income families be boosted from 85% to 95%, then reducing for households with income above $68,000. That would mean 60% of families paying less than $20 a day for childcare. For many women, working more than 3 days a week doesn't add up.
After the costs of tax, clawback of family benefits and additional childcare was factored in, often they were working for virtually nothing.
Childcare takes a bigger household budget bite here than other countries.
We do push a lot back onto families. We push a lot onto women.
Facilitating women to work more over the course of their lives would increase the proportion of women who can retire with their own financial security.
And the country's economic security during the pandemic remains in sharp focus, with warnings we could face a second wave of job losses, with up to 640,000 more positions gone in the next 6 months. Gemma Acton, 7 News.
There have been more violent protests on the streets of Beirut as rage against corrupt leaders escalates. Other nations have committed nearly $500 million to help rebuild. Australia will give $5 million, but the money won't be going directly to the Lebanese government.
Beirut is boiling with anger. Another night of protests as people target the government and police. There were injuries. A police officer was killed. Protesters tried to ram their way into the Parliament building before lighting fires. Police responded with tear gas. The Lebanese government is clinging to whatever power it can. Most don't trust it.
We can't live the way they want us to.
The Information Minister resigned, acknowledging the people want change. The blast hit while a priest was celebrating Mass. Today, with windows missing, parishioners returned. We hope to survive, a churchgoer says. Here in Lebanon, we are already survivors. But people in Beirut are being tested like never before. 300,000 people homeless, a massive clean-up job left to civilians and politicians around the world. Scott Morrison joined a video call with Emmanuel Macron and Donald Trump.
Le temps du réveil et de l'action est venu.
It's time to wake up and take action, the French president said. In Rome, the Pope prayed that Lebanon could be reborn free and strong, as people here are told there is little to no hope of finding survivors in the rubble. Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
The New South Wales south coast has copped heavy rainfalls, the weather event dumping a staggering 200 millimetres across the Shoalhaven, flooding inundated homes and swamped businesses.
The Shoalhaven region on alert as it went underwater, flooding surrounding homes and threatening businesses, local areas disappearing from view.
I have not seen it like this. When I was a little girl, I remember the water being up a little, but never like this.
In Nowra, they spent the day waiting for the swollen Shoalhaven River to peak mid-afternoon.
We've been very concerned. We've been watching it since about 8 o'clock this morning.
Last night, emergency crews went door to door, warning residents to find higher ground.
Was very doubtful about leaving. I didn't particularly want to leave.
The Soapers had no choice when water started to pour into their farm home at 2 in the morning.
We woke up to the bedroom full of water. Within about 5 minutes it was over my knees.
More flooded roads and more rescues, 5 here overnight.
Floodwaters went up to the windscreen on those vehicles, and we had members of the public or motorists that were rescued from the bonnets and the roofs of their vehicles.
Nearby at Sussex Inlet, the boat shed had become a boat and houses completely surrounded, stranded.
We always wonder, Island.
This is a village well used to flooding, and so are the pets.
I wasn't that much keen, she was keen. We need a bit of dry ground for her to do a business.
The flooded streets of Sussex Inlet, most of the houses along here are holiday homes for vacations by the sea, and right now, water views. Further south at Moruya, lots of water in town, but the early morning river peak didn't produce damaging flooding that was feared.
Dodging a bullet, I think.
Some relief after a wild weekend. Chris Marr, 7 News.
Stay with us. Still to come in our broadcast tonight, a warning to Tasmanians about cybercrime. Could Donald Trump end up on Mount Rushmore? And the Great Diabetes Rethink, reducing the risk without changing what you eat.
are the signs that a traveller could be up to no good? Is it the pose that's a little too cool? Or that nervous laugh? You'll see what really goes down.
Never have I heard a story like this.
And how they get caught out on Aussie Border, Wednesday on 7/2.
Get your Woolies worth with everyday rewards. Enjoy exclusive app-only offers and access your points boosters to fast-track your savings. Download the app today.
That's why I pick Woolies.
A MyTas company, The Importer. We search the world for the best contemporary furniture and home accessories, bringing them back to Tassie for you to enjoy. We've been doing this for over 40 years. We offer you a range of stylish and modern designs for the value-conscious homemaker. If you're looking for on-trend contemporary furniture and accessories at great prices, MyTas recommends The Importer for all of your homemaker requirements. MyTas, our island, your future.
Rylock Windows and Doors combine quality, style and performance. Whether you're building a new home or replacing existing windows, book an appointment and we'll bring the showroom experience to your front door. You can see and feel the materials and discuss a personalised solution with our experts. Rylock Windows and Doors are designed and custom made in Australia with an emphasis on energy efficiency. Rylock products stand out for all the right reasons. Book an appointment with our dedicated state sales consultant.
Start your search in the pre-owned 2019 Mitsubishi Outlander ES all-wheel drive auto or 2019 Nissan X-Trail ST two-wheel drive auto, both from just $26,990. Perfect for the family with 7 seats, 5-star ANCAP safety rating, alloy wheels and reversing camera. Get out and explore our island state with an SUV from JMC. Buy local. Start your search at JMC.
In need of some comfort? How about this La-Z-Boy Harbour Town Suite? Save $1,900. Or this La-Z-Boy Prague Modular, now $3,399. Plus more great deals at your La-Z-Boy gallery today.
The MG Triple Value Sale is now on. Get triple value this month with $555 cash back across the range, an MG gift pack, and MG 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty. Hurry, offer ends soon.
No frills.
Nichols Chicken and Vegetable Burgers, buy one, get one free, $5.95. Shoestring Chip, buy one, get one free, $3.30. Steggles Turkey Thigh Roast, $8.99.
Save by shopping with No Frills Food Market.
Bob Jane T-Mart, great brands, mighty deals. 25% off Bridgestone, Acopia, passenger and SUV tyres. Up to $100 instant cashbacks on a huge range of tyres from big brands.
When you're running a small business, there's nothing small about it at all. It's pretty much all you think about, which is why it's smart to rely on a Ford commercial vehicle, because then that's one less thing to worry about. Ford makes it easy to keep your business moving, with great drive-away prices for all ABN holders, big or small, and up to 3 years free scheduled servicing across a wide range until September 30.
In my own way. Your new escape is here.
It's beautiful.
With relaxing dream getaways.
I can see myself here at home.
New Escape to the Country, Saturday on 7/2.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, worrying new research has found more Tasmanians are falling victim to online scams, prompting a warning from authorities for people to be vigilant with their cyber safety.
This year's lockdown saw more Tasmanians turning online to connect with their loved ones and for entertainment. But an innocent pastime can turn into a sinister experience.
If you think about all of the different accounts that you've got online for everything that you do online, most of those are tied back to an email address. And if your security on that email address isn't very strong and someone breaks into that, they can actually gain access to a whole bunch of other platforms.
In a recent federal group survey, nearly 50% of respondents said they were more concerned about their safety and security since the pandemic began, with over 2/3 spending more time online.
We're asking parents to do regular checks on the apps and computers that kids are using to make sure that their security settings are very safe, and really be on the lookout for smart devices at home being hacked as well. That's certainly something that Interpol are warning us about.
Libraries across the state are running a free program teaching people how to stay cyber safe.
Libraries around the state offer courses through Be Connected, and we've also got a video, so if people aren't able to come into the library to do the course, there's a 25-minute session on e-safety on our Facebook page as well.
Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmania News.
The heartbroken mother of a young woman murdered in a regional New South Wales town more than 2 decades ago has made a tearful plea for answers. She joined homicide detectives today as they announced a $1 million award to help solve the baffling cold case.
A young life full of dreams stolen by a cunning killer. For 21 years, Lorraine Bright has been living with the unbearable loss of her only daughter Michelle and memories that won't fade.
That night I sat out in the drizzly rain in the driveway waiting for her to come home.
Since 1999, Michelle's killer has been evading police. Today, a $1 million bounty was put on his head.
Today's the day to come forward.
Michelle was last seen alive at a birthday party in her hometown of Golgong near Mudgee. Police believe she was sexually assaulted before she was murdered, possibly by a serial predator.
Investigators believe there may be victims who have never spoken to police before, and they're appealing for those women to come forward. Their evidence could help to not only find their attacker after all of these years, but find Michelle's killer.
A red falcon similar to this and advancements in police technology could also catch up with the person responsible.
Some exhibits that have been gathered over the last 21 years is now subject to a full forensic review.
Michelle's family need answers now.
Please come forward for us.
Ashley Hansen, 7 News.
Overseas now, and violent clashes are erupting in Europe following an election widely slammed as rigged. This was the reaction in Belarus, where thousands filled the streets in protest. A truck driver took aim at the crowd and explosions rang out as police moved in with force. State TV exit polls report sitting President Alexander Lukashenko received almost 80% of the vote, giving him a 6th term. His main opponent, a 37-year-old former teacher, ran for office after her husband was detained and banned from the election. President Trump has denied reports the White House inquired about adding his face to Mount Rushmore. The New York Times claimed the administration reached out to South Dakota's governor asking about the process of adding a new president. Mr. Trump called it fake news and claims he never suggested it, but added that given his accomplishments, it sounded like a good idea. A rare earthquake has rattled the US state of North Carolina. The 5.1 magnitude tremor is the strongest in the region for more than a century. Widespread but minor damage has been reported. Aftershocks are expected. It doesn't get much closer than this. And that was a lightning bolt in Louisiana, blowing up a tree just next door. Flying debris left several homes damaged. No one was hurt. Storm chasers are having a field day in North America right now. This spectacular video was captured in the Canadian state of Manitoba. It crossed the road in front of the car after hitting a farmhouse. Well, there's a hope tonight for more than 2 million Australians in danger of developing type 2 diabetes. Adelaide researchers say there's a way to reduce the risk without changing what you eat.
Eric Harris is the first to admit he doesn't always make the healthiest choices.
I eat what I want to and when I want to. Controlling calories is difficult for a bloke like me. I wouldn't have a clue what
calories are in what.
Hoping to shed some kilos, the 60-year-old signed up for a pilot study that restricted not what he ate, but how he timed his meals. 8 weeks later, Eric's high glucose levels had just about returned to normal.
Generally felt pretty healthy.
Doing that pilot trial reduced his risk for type 2 diabetes.
So what is time-restricted eating? Quite simply, it means consuming all your meals and snacks within a 9-hour window. The rest of the time, you fast.
So just moving your chocolate from 10 p.m. until 11 a.m. in the morning could actually reduce your risk for type 2 diabetes.
Experts say our bodies aren't designed to digest food at all hours of the day and night. With our busy lifestyles, we can often start eating at 7 a.m. and still be snacking at 9 or 10, sometimes even later, and it's playing havoc with our health.
I think that anyone and everyone would benefit from time-restricted eating.
SAMRI researchers are now hoping to demonstrate the same results in a bigger trial. Elise Baker, 7 News.
Well, Tom Johnson will join us with all the day's sport news later tonight, with Alex Peroni feeling the pain at Silverstone, sustaining damage to his front wing. Richie Porte's push doomed in a tense finish in France. And a new champion takes PGA glory from Jason Day. Those stories with Tom soon, but first after the break, we take a look at the day's headlines. And then we meet the man behind a mighty tractor collection. And angry customers turn on Kmart over a stock shortage.
Love a great British mystery as much as Father Brown? When all hell breaks loose, you'll thank heaven he's there to solve the case. Hallelujah.
We've got a body. I'm going to investigate.
Father Brown, Thursday on 7/2.
Domino's $5 pizzas are incredible value. 7 awesome recipes, all made with fresh dough, vine-ripened tomato sauce, and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. $5 pizzas, no voucher required. At Domino's.
On special this week at Salamanca Fresh, large sweet blueberries $3.90 per 125-gram punnet. Sweet seedless honey Murcott mandarins $4.90 per kilo. 2 kilogram Challenger Greek-style yogurt $8.95 per bucket. Salamanca Fresh.
Famous for freshness.
Performance you've never seen before. Safety you've never seen before. This is the SUV you've never seen before. The all-new MG HS.
Working from home? How about working on your home? Wiley's are here to help. Phone us, place your order, get your best price, and we will deliver to your door. It's that easy. Wiley's, celebrating 50 years customer service in Tasmania.
Want a great deal on your next water tank? For domestic, fire or industrial, TasTank steel liner options range from 17 to 500,000 litres. Save time and call TasTanks for all your water storage needs. TasTanks, hydrating your future.
Now it's even easier to handle any situation, with up to 3 years free scheduled servicing across the entire Everest range. See your Ford dealer now.
Head to Highgrove Bathrooms Hobart to enjoy 50% off our entire range of Ollie brush nickel tapware, or save $50 on the Sol hand shower on sliding rail. Hurry, only available while stocks last.
When you make the switch to Aurora Plus, you can track your power usage and pay when you want. Stay warm without the worry. To find out more, go to auroraenergy.com.au.
Eurosigns in Derwent Park is your one-stop sign and safety shop. Did you know Eurosigns sell direct to the public? You can buy ready-made signage right off the shelf. And if they don't have it, they'll make it on-site fast. Colorbond, aluminium, Corfoot, vinyl lettering, pull-up banners and more. Eurosigns is your one-stop sign and safety shop. 47 Derwent Park Road. Or go to eurosigns.com.au.
Eurosigns.
We're locals. We care about the community, and everything we do is in partnership, so we know how much the small things matter. We're building trust, building together, building the place we call home. It's a pretty good feeling.
It's gotta be a GJ got no home.
New from MyState Bank. Digitally enhanced, less stressed,
customers, complete with a clever autosaver feature that finds hidden money and squirrels it into savings. Update to the latest in personalised banking with MyState Bank.
The gold price has never been higher. It's time to sell your unwanted jewellery and gold. Adelaide Exchange Jewellers, always paying cash for jewellery, coins and precious metals. Adelaide Exchange Jewellers, where gold is sold.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream.
You never know who they'll stop.
Pulled over by the police. What's she say?
Highway Patrol, Wednesday on 7.
These are some of the stories making headlines tonight. World War II teenage hero Teddy Sheehan to be honoured with the Victoria Cross posthumously 80 years on. A highway pile-up near Fawcett leaves 2 people injured. Victoria records the highest number of deaths in a single day during the pandemic. And new equipment unveiled to bolster testing in Tasmania's COVID lab. Well, many Tasmanians have had to find new ways to exercise, with gyms shut down for the bulk of this year due to the pandemic. But for former Queenslander Fran Castles, the reopening of the Mowbray gym she attends means far more than just a workout.
When I first came down here, I didn't know a soul, so I was quite lonely, and I used to just go out for coffee by myself and read the paper, and I thought, no, I can't stay at home. And then all of a sudden I keep seeing this advertised. So I rang up about it, and here I am, and I haven't looked back.
It's an activity that promotes, health and longevity. It also has a significant impact on their mental health.
The Wellness Centre has opened with shorter session times to allow for extra cleaning. Drivers on the Bass Highway passing through Sassafras are greeted by a peculiar sight, a tractor on a pole. But what you don't see is the vast vintage tractor collection which inspired it. Today we caught up with the man behind the local landmark.
If you've ever driven the Bass Highway at Sassafras, chances are you've seen the tractor on a pole. But why is it there? Turns out it's the gateway to a treasure trove of tractors, 65 in all, meticulously maintained by master collector David Perry.
We started them up this morning. The shed was full of smoke and diesel fumes and all the rest of it. I thought it was Christmas. I thought it was good.
David's been collecting and restoring these farming workhorses for 20 years. To him, they're like family, each with their own character and a story to be told.
A bit like a human being, I guess they have got a personality. If you don't know how they start, you won't start them. And every tractor is different, and they got character.
David's passion will be preserved by passing on his knowledge to his grandchildren, who are now adding to this assembly themselves.
I've got 2 myself, yeah. I've restored one and partway through another now, and sort of on the bit of a lookout for another one if one pops up.
Of all the tractors in his collection, David's favourite is this one. It's an extremely rare Howard Platypus. Besides the fact it was built in England, very little is known about the machine, including how it even made its way to Tasmania. His best guess is it was a prototype sent here to test the local market. But solving the mysteries behind the machines and taking good care of them only drives David's devotion.
We've created a relationship, if you like. You put 3 or 4 hours in of a night and you're working away, and then you go and have a beer and finish the day off. She's a great life.
Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News.
Well, angry customers are turning on one of our biggest retailers, accusing it of advertising products that are out of stock. With COVID wreaking havoc on the retail sector, experts say Kmart is paying the price for relying on overseas suppliers.
Aisles and aisles of empty shelves.
I went looking for plants today for my room, and absolutely nothing. There was nothing there.
With its low prices, Kmart's homewares range has found a cult following, but the darling of Australian retail now has some very unhappy customers.
You come down with a special trip to do it, and yeah, they don't have the stock.
It's really annoying actually.
Kind of waste your time once you're in there.
And they've taken to social media to vent their growing frustration, accusing the retailer of advertising stock that simply isn't available in store or online.
Unfortunately, Australian retailers are falling short of consumer expectations. It is very difficult for retailers to win that trust back very rapidly.
The ACCC is aware of customer complaints but won't say whether or not it's launched an investigation. It's told 7 News that retailers must clearly state if a product is in short supply. It also says that in this current environment, buyers need to be patient. With COVID putting pressure on overseas supply chains, Kmart isn't the only retailer scrambling for stock, and experts say it should serve as a warning.
Sourcing products locally, Australian-made, is very, very important.
I'd love to see more Australian-built stuff, but we just simply can't compete to the prices.
Kmart did not respond to our requests for an interview, but on its website acknowledges customers have been left disappointed, saying it's experiencing unusually high demand. It expects stocks to return to normal this month. Tim Yateman, 7 News.
After clusters of COVID deaths at Sydney's aged care homes, the state and federal governments came under attack today at the Aged Care Royal Commission. It has been revealed no dedicated COVID-19 plan has been prepared for the sector, with the response at nursing homes described as dysfunctional and conflicting.
Of 37 Newmarch House residents infected with coronavirus, just 2 were treated in hospital.
Older people are not less deserving of hospital treatment because they are old. Such an approach is ageist.
The Aged Care Royal Commission told New South Wales Health preferred not to send infected residents to hospital,
given the precedent this would set.
That was mid-April as the outbreak that claimed 17 lives took hold. The Aged Care Commissioner urged the Federal Health Department to step in.
We must call this out as an intolerable and unsupportable assumption.
The CEO of operator Anglicare slamming both governments' responses.
He says there was often confusion about designation and decision-making authority.
The Federal Aged Care Minister telling Anglicare to follow the state's advice when he was warned.
There has been a frustrating level of dysfunction.
The Royal Commission also heard no dedicated COVID-19 response plan for the aged care sector was prepared.
We've always known that the most vulnerable in our community are the elderly.
In Queensland and South Australia, the policy is to send all infected aged care residents to hospital. But here it's considered on a case-by-case basis, and the government is standing by that approach.
Everything we did in New South Wales was based on health advice. We need to learn the best response.
Alex Hart, 7 News.
Hopefuls have started arriving at the art gallery Portraits in Hand to enter this year's Archibald Prize. The competition was postponed due to the pandemic but has now returned with social distancing.
It's finally Archibald time. Artworks being carried in and unpacked by a steady stream of artists for a delayed but welcome start to one of the country's most popular art awards.
I was worried because you got to have the Archibald.
The Archibald Prize, celebrating its 99th year, was postponed in March due to the coronavirus. So it's been a long wait for artists to bring in their works. The delay gave actor Maine Wyatt a chance to practice his passion with this self-portrait. He was encouraged to enter by a dedicated fan.
My mum, really. She's an artist, so this was just a COVID project, and then she just said, I want you to put it in.
Famous faces have always graced these rooms, from Guy Pearce to Jimmy Barnes, favourites for the Packing Room Prize, voted by the unpackers themselves.
I think it's just easier for artists to paint themselves, and they got no hope of getting the Packing Room Prize.
Not only were exhibitions and art awards cancelled here in New South Wales, but right around the world, with things though slowly kicking off once again. It's giving art buffs something to look forward to. The Archibald Prize winner will be announced on September 25, with social distancing in place when the exhibit opens the following day. Samantha Brett, 7 News.
We'll now look at the day's business and finance news with thanks to Bank of Us, Tasmania's customer-owned bank. The Australian stock market has closed nearly 2% higher on the back of US investment optimism. The ASX 200 index rose by a little over 105 points. A short time ago, the Australian dollar was trading at just over 71 US cents and nearly 109 New Zealand cents. Well, sport is next with Tom Johnson. Good evening, Tom. A horror night for the Aussies at Silverstone.
Good evening, Kim. Yes, it's been an absolute shocker. Alex Peroni and Daniel Ricciardo have had a lot of trouble. More on that one shortly. Also coming up tonight, Kelly Slater hosts World Surfing's return. And Kyron Bacon assumes the throne in off-road racing's King of the Paddock.
You've got to be on the ball. This time of year it can be very slippery, so yeah, you do have to sort of have your wits about you.
A lot of the incidents we see is inattentiveness of people. They don't realise that these things are 12, 13, 14 metres long. They don't realise that we need half of their side of the road as well as our own. These things are big vehicles. If they hit somebody or something gets hit, there's no second chances.
They just don't realise how much room they take to corner, and I guess the fact that they take a little bit longer to pull up.
There are approximately 350 school buses in Tasmania, transporting to school, to and from, around about 20,000 students per day. A bus driver's job is to ensure that he drives the vehicle safely. He has perhaps in excess of 50 students. He's got to try and make sure he's got control of the bus and of the students and their behaviour.
We tend to get people that pull in front of us, pull up pretty quickly in front of us, purely and simply because of a lack of awareness of just how much space we need. We've got a precious cargo on board.
National statistics tell us that 92% of all incidents regarding school buses occur off the bus. So therefore, what we'd ask parents to do is park on the same side of the road or street that this bus parks, so the student doesn't have to cross the road.
If you're running along at 80 or 90 and somebody is unfortunate enough to get hit, they really haven't got much hope. At 40 k's, you've got a reasonable amount of time to take evasive action and make decisions that can literally save somebody's life.
Be aware, look for the flashing lights, and if the flashing lights are flashing, then slow down to 40 k.
When the flashing lights are on, they must slow to 40.
The driver's prime objective is to ensure safe transport. By no fatalities on a bus in 70 years, the drivers have done an exceptional job.
And that's the key to this game, to make sure that you deliver these children safely without incident.
I'm leading the investigation into your father's death. Don't worry. I will find who's responsible.
Angela.
If the cops find out that you killed Dad...
There's nothing linking us to the murder.
Home and Away, this week on 7.
Whatever your involvement with a crash might have been, chances are the biggest challenge will be your physical recovery. But a crash can result in not only physical stress and injury, but also emotional injury. Talking to people who understand what is happening can help you get your balance back. Road Trauma Support Tasmania provides free and confidential assistance and support for people affected by road crashes. Road Trauma Support Tasmania. We're here to help.
Our family. Our memories. Our real estate company. Our Harcourts. Get your Woolies worth with thousands of prices dropped across the store, like Woolworths corned beef silverside from the meat department, now just $8 a kilo.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Tonight's sport is brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop with confidence online, mobile and in your local store.
Welcome back. Frustrated AFL players are seeking clarity over the holding the ball rule after a number of contentious calls. And for once, there's sympathy for the umpires.
Don't tell former umpire Matthew Head it's just a tweak.
It's sort of one end of the spectrum to the other. It's as big a shift as I've seen in my time.
The holding the ball rule front and square again.
Definitely no opportunity there.
Absolutely no prior opportunity there.
Yeah, that's not holding the ball.
Yeah, our players are seeking a fair bit of clarity around it at the moment.
The umpires are pretty hot on it. I don't mind it generally. And if you take the tackle on, you're going to be penalised, so we understand that fully.
Overall, the AFL's happy with the stricter interpretation revealed on 7 News after round 4. The AFL adamant it's keeping the ball moving, the league not offering an official position on the Petrevski-Seaton call. There's sympathy for the umpires.
I think it's quite difficult on the umpires to make such a radical shift in season. Umpires often will lose that instinct in terms of what comes naturally in terms of how they interpret a decision on the ground.
Umps during the COVID crunch don't have the luxury of group coaching, the spotlight glaring in prime time.
With the games every night, every night it's on show without that chance to sort of regroup as a group throughout the course of the week.
Mark Stevens, 7 News.
Essendon is still grappling with a long injury list. Skipper Dyson Heppell's return is still up in the air, and it isn't the only problem for the Dons.
Dyson Heppell enjoyed some downtime with Dylan Shiel in the Gold Coast hinterland.
Stitched still up in the rock skimming comp, dipped the toes in.
Bombers fans would prefer to see their popular skipper on the park, and Essendon still can't put a timeline on his return from foot trouble.
He's starting from a fairly low base in that regard, but he will progress fairly quickly. But I can't tell you whether we're looking at 3 weeks or 6 weeks.
Heppell's situation sums up part of Essendon's problem. Up to 8 of their best players are missing. The other concern, it's round 12 and the coaches admitted their game plan remains a work in progress.
We're in the very early stages of that. We're around 10, maybe 11. So we've only had that many opportunities to actually play our game plan, and with the training restrictions, that's probably slowing up our progress in that regard.
They're facing the Suns and in danger of missing the 8. It will raise questions if this is a wasted year. At least to date, their coaching handover has been widely recognised as a success.
We'll have some frustrations at times around wanting to get there quicker, but commitment to what we're trying to do is what's going to get us to the end result we're looking for.
Tom Brown, 7 News.
St Kilda made a late change for its clash against Geelong with Paddy Ryder a last-minute out at the Gabba. In Jack Stevens' first game against his former side, the Cats kicked the opening 2 goals before Ryder's replacement Ed Phillips hit the scoreboard with his first 2 kicks.
From 50, open goal.
Flicks it to Phillips. 2 in a minute. They're in the game now.
Geelong had 6 scoring shots to 3 in the opening term and took a 3-point lead into quarter time. Late in the second term, the Cats lead by 15 points. To the RACT Insurance TSL Player of the Year votes now after round 5. Dylan Riley's 4-goal haul sees him take the votes in Launceston's win over North Hobart. North Launceston's Jackson Callow was best of field in the victory over Lauderdale, and ball magnet Kieran Lovell takes 3 votes in the Tigers' breakthrough win over Clarence. To the leaderboard now, Lovell is tied with the Blues' Joby Harper on 7 votes. Josh McGuinness and Dylan Riley are locked on 6. Still on TSL, North Launceston tall Alex Lee says he was happy to stay out of Lauderdale's tough tactics on the weekend. The ruckman had the edge in a typically fiery contest between the sides. A side's greatest frustration is gifting an easy goal. Sharon Egger enjoyed a 100-metre penalty on the weekend to finish off Lauderdale.
It's probably something that I always tend to keep away from, try to play my own game.
Ruckman Alex Lee let his skills do the talking, named in the best players after flying high over Hayden Smith and Sam Siggins. Also pleasing, debutant Bainen Lowe slotting a major on debut.
Bainen's been playing well in the D-League the last couple of weeks, so he earned the call up after some good form.
Kingborough is also smiling after joining the winners list for the first time this year, and according to midfielder Will Campbell, it means a lot to the young side.
It was a relief, but I guess it just
gives the boys a bit more belief that we are good enough to compete and win games in this competition.
In the NPL, Kingborough remains undefeated after a 2-0 win over Launceston City. The coach says he didn't expect to be in such a strong position so early on.
You know, as anyone would say, competition within the team is the best motivation for the players.
Richie Port came from way back in the pack to make a play in the Tour de l'Un. Port was threatening in the final kilometres, putting in a number of bursts, but his push was doomed, finishing 5th. The Tasmania's next race is the Criterium de Dauphiné, something he's finished runner-up in twice. Round 2 of the Tasmanian Grass Track Series reached Deloraine over the weekend. Kyron Bacon won King of the Paddock after chasing down Round 1 champion Jonty Reinders. Hugh Mackay finished 3rd. The next round takes place in Yolla next month. And Alex Peroni's disastrous Silverstone campaign has ended with damage to his front wing on the very first lap overnight. The Tasmanian limped to the pits and finished the race in last place. From eyeing his first podium of the season, Formula One's 70th anniversary race became a horror show for Daniel Ricciardo. With tyre trouble and a big spin, he finished 14th behind Red Bull's Max Verstappen, who ended Mercedes' 4-race unbeaten run. At Kelly Slater's California Surf Ranch, the World Surf League could finally run their first event of 2020. The King joined Sage Eriksson in the mixed doubles format, but lost to eventual winners Felipe Toledo and Coco Ho. And Jason Day finished tied for 3rd, 3 shots behind budding superstar Colin Morikawa at the PGA Championship in San Francisco. Day was in a 7-way tie for the lead late in the final round at Harding Park before Morikawa kicked clear with some incredible golf. He drove the green on the par 4 16th, sank the eagle putt, then held his nerve to defeat Paul Casey and Dustin Johnson by 2.
And a California kid is the new star in the game of golf.
An awkward trophy presentation was followed by a media conference with an appearance from an NBA superstar.
Stephen Curry with underrated media. I'm just working title just started about an hour ago.
My caddy's a huge Warriors fan. I think you heard him. I'm not.
Morikawa joins Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy and Jack Nicklaus in winning the PGA at just 23. And Kim, fantastic to be on air with you. Going to have a real good time.
Definitely great to have you here too. I had someone to help me control Murph. Thanks, Tom. And that is all in sport. Murph will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Whether they bounce or spit, they're grumpy or just won't sit. These rural vets are dedicating their lives to animals in need.
There's always a fresh challenge just waiting around the corner.
The Yorkshire Vet, Saturday on 7/2.
Australia, the Little Treehouse is alive at Coles. Follow Andy, Jill and Terry and their adventures in 24 new exclusive Coles Little Treehouse books and an astounding, expanding treehouse. A free book is yours with every $30 you spend at Coles and Coles Express. There's even rare books to find. Every book has an amazing story to bring your imagination to life. Collect all 24 Coles Little Treehouse books. Coles, good things, great value.
Let's do spring together at Harris Scarf. Take 35 to 60% off all homewares in Manchester, 25 to 40% off all clothing, footwear and underwear, and 15 to 30% off all electrical. Hurry, don't miss out. Shop in-store or online today.
When you have a job that requires equipment hire, whether it's small scale or a major project, Lifters Hire are the team you need. A family-owned and operated business that has grown with Tasmania, supplying the needs of industries, construction projects and locals. Experts in the region with the right specialist access equipment for any job. Looking to hire? Get the best team for the job. Lifters Hire will give you the lift you need. For the latest gear and the best prices, call Lifters Hire.
The great outdoors has never looked better. And to celebrate, Mitsubishi is offering 7 years warranty and up to $1,500 worth of genuine accessories. So you'll be all set to come and see for yourself.
Hey Tassie, it's time to catch up again.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, morning coffee, Sunday brunch and weekend getaways.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, cellar doors, pub lunch and special occasions.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
There's a few new rules to keep us safe.
but the same great people.
Welcome back.
Harvey Norman, your destination for the new Samsung Galaxy Note 20 range. Pre-order the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra now and receive the new Galaxy Buds Live as a bonus gift valued at $319. Or pre-order the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 and receive bonus Galaxy Buds Plus valued at $299. That's right, pre-order the new Galaxy Note 20 range and receive a bonus gift. Hurry, offer ends 20th of August. The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 range available for pre-order now at Harvey Norman.
Nubco have a huge range of trailers in both galvanised and painted finishes in single or tandem axle. Box trailers, builders trailers, trailers and ramps, trailer cages, we have it all. Or order a customised trailer to suit your needs. We can also register your trailer in store. If you're thinking trailers, think Nubco.
Stars shining bright above you. Night breezes seem to whisper, I love you. Birds singing in the sycamore tree. Dream a little dream more.
Global Poly Water Tanks. With over 20 years experience, you're assured of a quality product with expert advice and local knowledge. Get the right tank with the right accessories at the right price. They are available in a range of colours and sizes, come with a 10-year warranty, and finance and free delivery are also available. 100% Tasmanian owned and operated. Global Poly Water Tanks, your local experts in quality water storage. Global Poly Water Tanks. Yodel for a global today.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Global Poly Water Tanks, your local experts in quality water storage. Global Poly Water Tanks, Yodel for a global today.
Good evening. After a chilly start, most temperatures were close to or above average today. Hobart 13, Launceston and Burnie 12, Devonport 11. Another amazing set of numbers for Lyowini, minus 12 overnight, but really motored today, warming up by 23 degrees from that low. Grove and King Island, our high with 14. Smithton, St Helens and Friendly Beaches 13. Flinders Island, Low Head and Strawn 12. Now low cloud surrounds Tasmania with most of the state under clear skies today. So we look a bit wider, an extensive cloud band extends from the Indian Ocean to near Adelaide and then over the Southern Ocean. The low off New South Wales has cloud gathering there. Tomorrow a high moves over the eastern states, a complex low fills up the bite ahead of the next high. Winds northeast northwesterly reaching 20 knots over western and southern waters, variable winds over the lakes at just 5 to 10 knots. Another chilly night has the Bureau issuing a road weather alert for ice on susceptible roads in the morning. For Hobart, partly cloudy and 13, 9 the top for Adventure Bay, morning frost for Tarraleah, minus 5 to 13 the temperature range. 13 for Launceston and cloudy, Devonport the same, Bridport cloudy and 13. Burnie expecting a cloudy day, 12 the top, a bit warmer in Strawn, 15 tomorrow and 13 for Marrawar. And sunny in the east, St Helens and early frost, sunny in the afternoon, 15 the top, 14 for Swansea and Whitemark. On Wednesday, rain developing over the northwest with light showers extending elsewhere later. Showers across the state on Thursday, heavier over the northwest. East-northeasterly winds on Friday with another showery day. Showers easing from Perth tomorrow, 18 degrees there. Rain developing for Adelaide, a cloudy day in Melbourne. Partly cloudy weather also for Sydney and Brisbane. 7 right now in Hobart and clear, 6 degrees in Launceston, 7 in Devonport. And Kim, many people tuned in last night for a very special event, but were left disappointed. But we're about to rectify that now.
Oh, we certainly are, Murph. Well, of course, after last night's power failure, we did not get to give Rachel the send-off that she so much deserves. Rachel, it was a bizarre bulletin for you last night, wasn't it?
Kim, it certainly was. Definitely not one that I was expecting, but certainly a very memorable one indeed. So, to all of our loyal viewers, thank you so much for the past 10 years that I've been bringing you your weekend news. It certainly has been an absolute honour and I've loved every minute. But for now, I do look forward to spending more weekends relaxing with my husband and my 3 beautiful boys. So for the final time, thank you for joining us. I'm Rachel Williams. Good night.
Look, they're a day old, Rachel, but I think they're still great.
They're beautiful.
Well,
thank you so much. I'm very honoured. Thank you. Oh, they're lovely. Thank you. It's all a bit weird, isn't it? They didn't want me on last night and now they can't get rid of me. Who would have thought? It won't be long before the Eastern Shore is transformed. Tamar residents say they're disappointed in the process. Interest in Marcus Ambrose's last race on home soil has seen ticket sales soar. The case continues tomorrow. Rachel Williams, Southern Cross News. Rachel Williams, Southern Cross News.
And Rachel Williams joins us now with a look at the day's sport news.
Thanks, Jo. After the break, Essendon star James Hird plays the guessing game.
All I
Rachel Williams.
Partygoers gathered around the state to see in 2011. Now with all the day's sport news is Trent Dan.
Thanks, Rachel.
Well, sport is next with Alicia Muling, and Geelong has a win at the Gabba.
Yeah, that's right, Rach.
And that's a big night in sport for me, Joe. From Joe.
Rachel. It's all right. I am Rachel Williams, and thanks for your company. Good night. Welcome to the Overland Track. Thousands of people come from around the world to experience this 65-kilometre track through Tasmania's beautiful scenery. But never before has this track seen a story of such courage and kindness. This is Overland Jack. The East Coast was the place to be today with above average temperatures. Friendly beaches recorded these states. Whoa, that's a little bit zoomed in. I'll have more news for you in around an hour's time. I'll slow that down.
Some great weather for our weekend activities. Golf for me and the beach for you.
Yes, well, don't go losing your balls, Mert. That's all your news for now. I'll be back later with updates. Good night.